Bring the lights down low, time to start the show. Lights, camera, you know what we mean. Behold the magic of the silver screen. Some movies rock, some movies shock. They're powerful or odd. We cover them all on your favorite pod. They're dramatic, funny, sometimes scary. That's not weird, that's extraordinary. I got the need and I've got a fever. So play me a little dream weaver. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no last. It's the 30-something movie podcast. Be excellent to each other. Peace out and word to your mother. They're from the best decades. Movie magic that never fades. Lightsabers clash, phasers set to stun. Action-packed from dusk till dawn. We have deep thoughts and questions three. Come share our love of the movies we see. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no last. It's the 30-something movie podcast.
That's right. It's the 30-something movie podcast. It is week 2 of 1996. I feel like I'm coming in like a 90s radio shock jock or something. Hey, everybody. It's morning drive time on 101.2 FM. I need a bunch of like bells and whistles that I can pop here to.
Horns.
I like
Yeah.
I like that show, and I want to be a part of it.
You are a part of it, Patrick. We're gonna maybe we'll do our own rendition of Rock 103.5. This is the yeah. Do I get to be Man Cow?
Do
If you would like to be the cow is now.
Who wants to be Turd? Nobody.
Wanna be...
What do you want to be? What do you want to be, Bo?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Moving on.
What you don't understand is I was asking who wants to be the third host. I was speaking in an Irish accent.
Ah, is that what that was?
Yes, one of you can be second and one of you can be Turd.
Yeah.
I don't know what you heard.
Right.
Irish accent, Bo.
I'd like to get a ruling from Podrick on this.
Podrick, don't answer him. Well, we're not talking about Irish movies this time around. We are talking Multiplicity. We're talking a lot of Michael Keaton. More Michael Keaton than you can throw a stick at. I don't think.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Have you ever danced with a group of devils by the pale moonlight? Because you're about
group of your own devil.
Right, yes. Yes. The classic 90s Michael Keaton clone movie. How many times do you get to say that?
As many times as you want, apparently.
Yes, I guess as many times as you want. But we spoil freely here, so just be warned as we're talking. We may mention other movies. If you don't want to hear those other movies, just hit the little skippity-skip button there, and we'll move right on past that. Make sure you visit our website, 30podcast.com, where you can leave us a rating, a voicemail. You could become a co-executive producer over there on Patreon, get some access to bonus content, and we've got some free short episodes that we put out each month over there as well. So join us over there if you're enjoying what you hear here and you want to help support the show a little bit. Any little bit helps with us to cover the costs of the show. So thank you so much for all the people that do help us with that. But yes, if you are able to, it is always something we can always use some help with that. We don't quite cover the costs of the show each month, so the more help we can get, the better. So yes, if you want some of that bonus content, and if you're enjoying the show, if you've enjoyed it for a while, and you are able to contribute at all over there, there are benefits to contributing. So thank you so much for those who do. We really, really appreciate it.
Agreed.
Membership has its privileges.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know what else to. I can't think of anything to like. There's not any news that I can think of that we need to talk about. It's like the start of a new year, and I mean things have happened, but
we're all a week in, and we've given up on our New Year's resolutions, so that's good.
That's probably, if we made any to begin with.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we will dive right on into this one. We got a lot to talk about. Like, there's at least the 4 times as much as we would normally talk about. Yes. Yes, there are. This is where we need Patrick Stewart. There are 4 clones.
4 clones.
Actually, no, there's only 3 clones. There are 4 Dougs. Mm-hmm. How many Dougs do you see?
How many Dougs does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Depending on which subcontractor you're using, because clearly if it's Eugene Levy, it's going to take you a while. It's going to take a while. All right. This one came out on July 17th, 1996. Rating of a PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour, 57 minutes, directed by Harold Ramis, did Groundhog Day and Caddyshack. Writers were Chris Miller and Mary Hale. Miller did Animal House and The Late Shift. Hale did National Lampoon's Senior Trip and Club Paradise. Producers were Harold Ramis and Trevor Albert. Ramis did Analyze This, and Stuart Little. Albert did The Wedding Singer and Blast from the Past. Composer was George Fenton, did Dangerous Liaisons and After. Cinematographer was Stuart Dryberg, who did the piano and Bridget Jones' Diary. Editor was Pembroke J. Herring, who did Ruthless People and Little Shop of Horrors. What a name. Pembroke J. Herring.
Yeah, that's something, man.
That's got to be like a... Is that like a Screen Actors Guild name, or is that like a... Is that a real name? I don't know. I didn't look it up. Well, I'll look it up at some point. Production company was Columbia Pictures. Budget was $45 million. Box office, $75 million-ish. Flickmetrics gives it a 61, and CinemaScore gives it a B+. Michael Keaton plays Doug Kinney and Lance and Rico and Lenny. He was also in Beetlejuice and Batman. Andie MacDowell is Laura Kinney. She was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Harris Yulin was Dr. Leeds. He was in Scarface and Training Day. Richard Mazur was Del King. He was in The Thing and Risky Business. Eugene Levy was Vic. He was in American Pie and Waiting for Guffman. Zach Duhame was Zach Kinney. He was in Problem Child and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Katie Schlossberg was Jennifer Kinney. She was in Matilda and North. Brian Doyle Murray was Dr. Owen Leeds, the clone. He was in Scrooged and National Lampoon's Vacation. Alba Baratunde was the site inspector. He was in That Thing You Do and The Faculty. And Michael Monks was the construction worker. He was in The Edge and Outbreak. So a couple quick trivia things on here. Michael Keaton said that he found Rico to be the most difficult clone to perform because of the heightened emotional vulnerability of that one. Harold Ramis apparently considered a darker ending. I didn't see exactly what it was supposed to be, but it did ultimately lean into the film's comedic tone and chose not to go the darker route. I would be concerned with what darker route you would take.
I have ideas. They're all disturbing.
Right. I mean, do they start breaking down and melting at a certain time?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was reading some of the reviews of this, and I know that Ebert, his review was like, that the movie was too fun and happy, and he said that, he wanted there to be more, I don't know if it was darker was the right thing, but just wanted it to be more serious almost. Mm-hmm. Which, okay.
Well, knowing Ebert, he probably wanted them to explore the difficulty with having multiples more than they did. I mean, they definitely take the funnier side of it in the movie.
Yes.
Why did I say, I'm looking at my notes now, and I had a different name for the building inspector, the site inspector. That was Glenn Shaddix. I don't know what I wrote down. Because Glenn Shaddix was Otho from Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what I wrote down. Who knows? Yeah. So a couple of interesting things is that several people in this movie were also in Groundhog Day, also directed by Harold Ramis. Andie MacDowell, Brian Doyle Murray, the ballet school receptionist, was also in Groundhog Day. And I think I had forgotten this. Michael Keaton was actually offered the lead role in Groundhog Day. So instead of, or considered, I don't know if he was offered, but he was considered the lead role in Groundhog Day, which was directed by Harold Ramis and would have also had him co-star opposite Andy McDowell. There was a funny little trivia thing in here, too, when he mentions that he doesn't want to turn into like Jeff Goldblum's character in The Fly, that he actually was offered the lead role of Seth Brundle in that film, but turned it down. That would have been an interesting version of The Fly, of Michael Keaton instead of Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, I think so.
You want to get buzzed? Come on, let's get buzzed. No. Here is the other, and I'm sure this will come up in some of our conversation later. I mean, of course, this is a mid to late 90s movie. This movie was released 12 days after the birth of Dolly the sheep.
Oh, wow.
So, kids, for those of you that don't know, Dolly the sheep was apparently the first mammal cloned from adult cells. And so this was a very big news item in the mid to late 90s that Dolly the sheep had been cloned. Because what the world,
by now we were supposed to have clones all over the place, right?
I know. And because what the world needed was another sheep.
Right.
In a world, that's what we say, in a world where one man isn't enough, Doug Kinney is about to meet himself and himself and himself again. One overworked dad discovers that juggling family, work, and identity might require a few extra copies, but maybe you can sometimes have too much of a good thing.
It's like work is first, and my family is a close second. I'm a distant third, bringing up the rear.
By a miracle of modern science,
I just need a little time for myself.
Doug Kinney is about to get the one thing he needs more of.
Doug, your clone.
Himself.
So, what do I feed it?
Now,
Between the two of us, we're gonna get a lot of stuff done. We're gonna kick some ass. We're gonna be awesome.
there are two Dougs to go around.
I'll get the dishes, now drive the kids to school.
Thanks.
Two Dougs to share the load.
When'd you have time to do all this?
I suggest we all do them every morning.
Find out what he had for breakfast.
But it's still not enough Dougs
I hate to ask you, honey, but could you pick up the kids?
to get the job done.
2. Like you to meet 3. Hi, how are you? Are you nuts? I've been working since I was 12 years old. It's break time. It is. And Doug, I think it's that 12-year-old that's saying, Doug, how about a visit? You need time for Doug. What a suck. No.
With 3 people
Meeting started yet?
Well, you're already in the meeting.
sharing the life of one man,
Did you see me in the meeting?
differences are developing.
What are you doing? I'm having a smoke. What's it look like?
Personalities are emerging.
I fold once, and then tuck, fold, TTF. And no air goes in there because what? Air's our enemy, isn't it?
And their problems are beginning to multiply.
Doug, I'd like you to meet 4. Where did he come from? We made a copy from 2. And you know how sometimes you make a copy of a copy, it's not quite as sharp as, well, the original.
This summer, it's every Doug for himself.
Jeez Louise, how many of you are there?
Is he safe with that razor? We take the blade out. It's cute, I think.
From the director of Groundhog Day, Michael Keaton,
Nobody has sex with my wife but me.
Andy McDowell,
Doug.
When that woman wants something, Doug, there is no stopping her.
Multiplicity,
Hey, Rain Man, run back in there and floss yourself, buddy, all right?
All right, the major moments for this one. Doug Kinney works construction in Los Angeles, but his demanding job constantly interferes with his family life. Despite loving his wife, Laura, and their children, he is rarely present, and the strain on his marriage is becoming obvious. While working on a new wing of a scientific facility, Doug meets Dr. Leeds, who reveals he has perfected a method for cloning humans. To prove it, Dr. Leeds introduces Doug to his own clone, convincing Doug the process is real. So, sympathetic to Doug's situation, Dr. Leeds clones him so the duplicate can take over work duties. The clone, calling himself Lance, retains all of Doug's memories and skills, but exaggerates his masculine, aggressive, and competitive traits. Doug is struggling to keep Lance hidden from his family. His anxiety peaks when he and Laura go out to dinner, and Doug spots Lance on a date, realizing how easily the situation could spiral out of control. So even with Lance handling work, Doug remains overwhelmed at home. He creates a third clone, Rico, who embodies Doug's sensitive and nurturing side. Rico eagerly cooks, cleans, and tends to the house, irritating the more macho Lance. Without Doug's approval, Lance and Rico attempt to clone themselves, producing a clone of a clone named Lenny. Less intelligent and emotionally immature, Lenny represents Doug's childish side and repeatedly calls Doug Steve. Wanting time to himself, Doug secretly goes sailing and orders the clones to cover for him. He explicitly tells them that Laura is off limits, but each clone encounters her separately while Doug is away. That's one
Encounters.
Way.
That's
one way to put it.
Way to say that.
Yeah, that is one way to put that. Encounters. Maybe that's a different, because we try to remain family friendly on here. I usually try to use the euphemism enjoy each other's company, but I feel like encounters is a good.
I like it.
It's more succinct.
Euphemism.
It's more succinct. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that may get used. There's a lot of encountering in Eyes Wide Shut.
Indeed.
You have a lot of it. There's certain movies you have a lot of encountering. It's not for children.
Well, in that movie, you might even call those entanglements.
Yes.
But that movie is a very special.
I believe so. So let me ruin some childhoods here. Then how do we feel about Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
It definitely changes the calculus a little bit.
It does. It does a bit. Yeah. It makes the mashed potato sculpture way more awkward.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What did they say in Independence Day? When they took him up to the spacecraft, they abused him.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I can't quote it all the way because I've got students now that are saying, "Yeah, we're listening to your podcast."
I know, right?
So I'm like, I'm being extra careful now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I suppose.
Despite their intentions, all three clones end up sleeping with Laura. So again, they don't bend Rule 1. They break it several times. Who she believes they are all Doug. Meanwhile, Lance becomes sick and sends Rico to a job site where Rico's lack of technical knowledge angers an inspector and costs Doug his job. Laura becomes increasingly upset. Oh, let me stop there for a second. Actually, there's a couple things I've kind of glanced past real fast. That scene, and I don't want to take this movie too seriously because it is a comedy movie about somebody being cloned to, shirk responsibility. But that scene, I was like, wait a minute. Lance is supposed, or no, not Lance. Rico is supposed to have the same knowledge that Lance has. Mm-hmm. So even if you got to make something up, in his brain, he's got the same knowledge as what Lance should have.
Yeah, they lean way too much on this is job site specific when really it wouldn't be.
Right. Laura becomes increasingly upset by Doug's erratic behavior and his lack of memory of conversations she unknowingly had with the other clones. When she confides in Lenny about Doug's broken promise to fix the house, his clueless response, "I want pizza," pushes her to leave with the children. Because, how many times does that happen to us, right? After learning
I always want pizza.
Right? I don't know that there's a situation that pizza won't fix.
I'd agree.
Yeah. After learning everything that went wrong, Doug teams up with the clones to remodel the house and prove that he can change. Because
if I can change,
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился сегодня.
And you can change.
Вы можете измениться.
Everybody can change.
He tells Laura he plans to start his own contracting business, and the clones depart, opening a pizzeria in Miami. The film ends with Lenny hilariously botching a pizza delivery, confirming the clones are thriving, just very far away from Doug's life.
And now, Deep Thoughts.
I have an opinion on this matter.
Don't mince words, Bones. What do you really think?
I like it a lot. Wow. It's very deep. Thank you.
All right. So I remember watching this movie several times after it had come out and thinking this movie was hilarious. I remember absolutely enjoying this movie when I think we probably went to go see it in the theater. And then I remember watching this several times. Watching it this time around, I was probably a little bit more critical of it than I had been in the past. And it was funny. I think the last time I saw this movie, we were probably married. I don't know if we had kids yet. And so this is the first time I have watched this movie since having children. So it's probably been, 20 years-ish since the last time I saw this. And I will say my initial reaction to watching it this time is, wow, Doug is a whiner. Like, suck it up, Doug. It's really not that difficult to, I mean, I don't want to say it's not that difficult to balance some of these things. It is difficult to balance some of these different things. But I feel like in watching it this time, I'm like, Doug, I'm not sure you're putting forth the right kind of effort. Like, there's a way to make this work without needing clones. And I get that that's the whole point of the movie, and we got to suspend a little disbelief. But there were moments where I was like, Doug, you're not Mr. Mom, okay? We can cook mac and cheese without burning the house down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this time around, I had a little bit of trouble suspending some disbelief in some of those scenes. I'm like, nobody's going to be that inept when it comes to the basics of taking care of your children. Now, granted, if you've been so busy at your construction job that you've never done anything with your children, then sure, I guess I could see that being a little tough. But I don't know. I had less sympathy for his character this time around. In fact, I kind of went the flip side of it. I was like, you know who I think probably needs the clones? It's probably Laura that needs the clones. I'm not sure you need the clones, Doug. I mean, maybe one of them, but then at that point, get Laura a clone too. I mean,
they can have clone encounters.
If that's how there you go.
Third encounters of the clone. Yeah, never mind.
I don't know.
I totally feel a Greatest Gen bit coming on about, oh gosh, who's the guy that makes the real doll?
Oh yeah, Kevin Uxbridge.
Kevin Uxbridge, yeah.
Clones can't live up to my real dolls.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go back. I gotta listen to those guys more.
I asked my wife Rashawn if she wanted to be cloned. She said no. She just wanted to tend our little 5 foot by 5 foot garden patch and have some tea. Good tea. Nice house.
Wow.
There we go.
That was effective. Jeez.
That's the wharf button. It can lower the voice. It can't open doors.
No. 50's not bad.
It's, I need a clone to open doors. So that I mean, I still really enjoy this movie. It's a funny movie. It's Harold Ramis. I think Harold Ramis does a good job of taking, at least in a couple of the movies, taking a kind of like scientific idea and using it for comedy.
Sure.
And I know this was based off, was it Chris Miller, I think was one of the writers' names. This was a short story that he did for the National Lampoon magazine.
Okay.
And so I mean, it's a really, I haven't read the short story, but it's a creative idea for a short story, especially one written either in I don't know when it was written, but if it was written in the early to mid 90s, round about the time that we're starting to talk about clones and cloning and genetics and things like that, then that's kind of a really interesting take on it. And that this is an idea that while it didn't quite have at least for now, didn't quite have the same sci-fi implications that we kind of all thought it would have. When we were like, wait, you cloned a sheep? You can clone things now? Well, we're going to have all kinds of crazy creatures running around. I mean, we're gonna Island of Dr. Moreau the heck out of this thing. And we didn't. And as far as I know, yeah. But I think at the time, this feels a little bit like, I mean, was it a couple months ago we watched The Net? And there were certain things about The Net that you were like, ooh, that is so futuristic. Like, who books their airline flight on their computer? That's weird.
Right.
I feel like there are certain aspects of this movie that it's like, look at that, cloning. Someday, we might all have clones.
To do our bidding.
And now it's like, forget the clones. We watched Multiplicity. That's not going to work. Let's have AI robots.
Yeah.
Until you watch that one video of the guy who has the headset on and he's controlling the AI robot, and the robot is mimicking his moves. And then he goes and kicks one leg out and the robot kicks one leg out, but the robot's foot goes into his groin. That is one of my favorite new videos that has popped up lately. Is he actually he's controlling the AI robot, and as he's doing this kick move, the robot turns and actually kicks the controller in the groin.
Oh.
Well, that's fun.
And both the controller and the robot then double over in pain.
Jeez.
This is Simpsons level stuff. What was the one when they did the Springfield movie? Was it it was a Springfield film series, and it was like man gets hit in groin with football or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what we got going on. So there's the AI robots. Like that's what we have now instead of clones, and that's that's about the speed of where things are happening.
Yes.
The future, the lack of happening.
Exactly.
Just like this podcast.
There you go. The future, brought to you by the 30-something movie podcast. To quote Krusty the Clown. So that's how I feel about this movie. When was the first time you guys saw this?
Blockbuster rental, probably on the strength of Michael Keaton being in the movie.
I saw this movie 24 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. Harold Ramis, Michael Keaton was fantastic. Eugene Levy. Everybody it was great. Q was awesome in it. John DeLance. Yeah. Fun. And what I really like is I like watching one actor have to play 4 different characters that are easily identified with looks, reactions, voice, etc.
And my understanding is there's a lot of there would be no math, but that there also is a lot of the digital work necessary to do some of this stuff wasn't quite there yet. And so a lot of this is still being done with compositing and camera trick shots and split screen stuff and all of that. But there were some times where they actually had to do very practical effects. And they said that there were some times that Michael Keaton was so precise with some of the stuff that he did that it ended up saving them a ton of money because he could somehow match the movements of his body double and the other shot of him that he had just filmed in another angle. And they had one in particular, it was an IMDb trivia section, talked about there was a time where he throws a beer to one of his clones. And they said they originally planned to digitally erase the tossed beer so that they could add in a digital beer can. Didn't need it because he matched the movements so perfectly, and they ended up dubbing that, the special effects crew dubbed that the $1 Million Miracle beer can toss. Michael Keaton was just phenomenal at this and doing some of the work necessary to play 4 people sometimes simultaneously.
Yeah.
It is funny. One of the trivia things also mentioned that when he has to call in sick, when clone number 3 calls in about Doug being sick from work, that he uses the same voice that he did when he did Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It is interesting seeing him pull from those characters, right? Like, okay, you mentioned the Beetlejuice character, and then you see a little bit, and okay, that's Beetlejuice. And then you see a little bit, okay, I've seen that with Mr. Mom. Okay, that looks like the way he played, I don't know, Batman, or not Batman, it would have been Bruce Wayne. Just different. He's pulling that and putting it together to create the different characters that are all on the screen sometimes simultaneously.
Yeah. You know what I wanted, since he works a construction job and, sometimes that can be very physical. I wanted to see if they did any tweaking of the clones to make one slightly bigger or stronger. And the doctor could have asked him, he's like, well, how do you want to tweak this one? He's like, well, we can make him a little bit stronger, give him a little bit more muscle mass. And well, how much do you want him to weigh? I don't know, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
See,
that would have been.
That would have been. Maybe that's a little bit too much on the nose, but
perhaps.
With Harold Ramis on the set, they toyed with that joke.
I bet they did.
They just decided not to use it.
Right. Somebody has to have.
Because how could you resist that joke?
Yeah. So here's the other thing, and maybe this is if there are, I don't know that I've ever owned this. I haven't owned this on physical media, so I don't know what's available on DVDs or Blu-rays or what might exist for this one. I would be curious if there are any deleted scenes where they talk about the cloning process, because my question is, if he is being cloned and it's supposed to be the exact same person from the moment of cloning, then how do you, is this the nature versus nurture thing? Because how do you get, I mean, almost immediately the clones they take on their new personalities. And as it kind of mentioned, these are all like Freudian examples of different personalities that people can have. You immediately have the like kinder, more nurturing clone is clone number 3. You have the more masculine, more competitive, more aggressive clone number 2. What I would have liked to have seen is, because they just seem to come out that way naturally. But the idea of the clone is that they shouldn't. So what I'd like to see is, if were there deleted scenes where Doug goes into the doctor and says, well, hey, I really need a clone that can help me with the housework. Therefore, I need a kinder, gentler Doug. And is there a way that, can you tweak that? Yeah.
Dive into the customization process.
Right. Which I think could have been kind of, I wouldn't want to spend too much time on it, but, and I'm
no,
sure.
but I almost feel like you do need a little explanation of it.
Right. Because otherwise.
I don't feel like they sell that well.
No. And otherwise, there's not necessarily a good reason for that to be the case.
Right.
So I wonder if that's something they toyed with and just deleted it or didn't film it, or. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the focal point is never the sci-fi, for lack of a better term, aspect of it, right?
Right.
The focal point is always like him, as you said, being a whiner, learning to be a better person.
Yeah.
Right? Make the changes and to do it in a whimsical way.
Right.
So kind of like Basil exposition with British intelligence. We suggest that you don't ask too many questions about the way this works.
Yeah. I do like the part where he's there at the kids' football game, and he's like, well, you know, what if you put, you know, people just don't understand, like walking alongside the coach. He's like, you know, people just, it's a really demanding job. Like, this is really tough.
Of course,
And then, what would you suggest? Well, if you put this kid in, who's this kid? And he's like, well, it's my son. Oh, your son. Oh, really? And I thought that was kind of a fun. That's one of those fun indications of, if you don't want to sign up for something, don't offer your opinion.
Right.
Like, no better than to get yourself involved unless you actually want to do some of it.
Right. And the classic, just like, hey, I'm empathizing. Yeah, I get you, man. These guys just don't understand. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Now, I don't know, though. If it was up to me, here's what I would suggest.
Right. Yeah, people just don't get it. But here's what I would do. Don't you just hate it when people give you unsolicited advice? But here's what I would do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was definitely a funny scene.
Yeah. So, Pat, you and we'll bring this up briefly because we've talked about it on some other movies. You brought this up before we started recording, and I'm interested because this having been the first time you saw this, I think I come at it as, oh yeah, well, I remember seeing that and thinking it was kind of funny, but didn't question it too much. Is it problematic? We talked about this when we talked about the Dream Team. There's another Michael Keaton movie. Is it problematic for Clone 4 to be the way he is?
Well, it's interesting because it was described in the thing that number 4 is like the childlike one. The way it reads is kind of a caricature of someone with special needs.
Right.
So that's what the way it reads to me. And so the thing that like reaction to seeing that is always like, okay, we're playing this for laughs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that because there's really not much more to be said. You know, they're playing it for laughs, and that wouldn't, to my feeling, that wouldn't be in movies now. So it's like when you see that, it's kind of like just like the brother in Something About Mary. And so how do you, but they need like the comic relief. Well, I don't know, comic relief. I mean, you know, the whole movie's comedic, but you know, they put that in there and they want to play the gag of, okay, the copy of a copy. I don't know. I don't know, because there's really not much else to be said. You see what they're going for, and what they're going for is, a character that, like I said, by the way it looks today, is a character with special needs, and we laugh at it, laugh at him, and we laugh at that portrayal. But it's just, I don't know. Like I said, for me, it's kind of cringe.
Yeah.
How would I change it? How would you have someone that is supposed to be like childlike and wonder and all that? I don't know. Like maybe the way that Murdoch was in the A-Team, right? Some of his more bizarrish kind of things, right? Of course, that character also is of its time because he was playing someone that was supposed to be like pretending to be insane. But I don't know. I guess that would be more of it. And like I said, when they describe it as a character that's being played like a child, but that's it.
Yeah.
I can't really complete a thought on it because, like I said, it just kind of is what it is, and my reaction is kind of is what it is.
Yeah. I can't say this for certain because I didn't find anything that said this, but the fact that they end up calling him Lenny is, to me, it's like a clear homage to Of Mice and Men.
Oh, yeah.
Because the character of Lenny Small in Of Mice and Men is kind of he's a gentle giant with clearly some kind of intellectual disability. I don't think they ever say exactly what his intellectual disability is, but he's his thoughts are very simple, very childlike, doesn't always understand the consequences of his actions. A lot of times he kind of gets obsessed with, small things, like gets obsessed with I think he's like taking care of the rabbits on a farm someday, and obsessed with like, small animals and stuff like petting small animals and that they're very cute and that kind of stuff. And, that having this Lenny obsessed with pizza or obsessed with his wallet or obsessed with whatever, shaving, all those other things.
Encounters.
Right. Or encounters. Yeah. That it's clearly an homage to that character. So knowing that the Lenny character in Of Mice and Men is someone that is, they don't ever say what the disability is, but the idea is that, there is a concept of low intelligence and intellectual disability there. So to your point, right, is that something that we cringe at because should this be the comedy relief? Because I don't want to say, it's been a long time since I've read Of Mice and Men. I don't recall in Of Mice and Men that really being played off as comedy. More of this character, this Lenny in the book, needs a protector of some kind. Like he needs a guide, he needs a protector, he needs someone to help lead and watch over him, kind of a deal, because he doesn't understand how the world works. Kind of a thing. And this Lenny, yeah, they kind of watch over him, but again, it's more for the cheap laugh, it seems like. Right.
And that's kind of what the movie is supposed to be, whimsical and fun. I don't know. Like I said, I keep going back. Like there's more I could say, but not really necessary. It kind of is what it is, and as is my reaction on seeing it for the first time in 2026.
Yeah. The other thing I thought about this time around was, and it really is not. I don't feel like they spend that much time on it. But the whole idea of when he first wakes up, and this to me, I'm watching this part this time, and I'm going, ooh, I know I've seen this movie before. I know this movie's not going to tackle this, but I would like to actually spend some more time here. When he wakes up from the first procedure,
yeah,
and he's like, so how'd it go? And he looks up and he sees Doug standing there, and he's like, wow, that's the clone? Like, well, no, you're the clone. Like this time around watching the movie, I was like, I would like to spend a little bit more time on that kind of idea.
Sure.
Like, why? And I'm thinking about this as the movie's going on. I'm like, wait a minute, why do I have to go to work? Like in my mind, even if I'm the clone, from the moment we were cloned, we're supposed to have the same memories, same thoughts, same memories, same everything. So I went into this procedure thinking I'm going to get time off work so that I can spend more time with my wife and kids and spend time for myself. Now, wait a minute. Now you're telling me I'm the clone and now I have to go to work all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And I never get to spend time with my wife and kids? Well, hold on now. Like that's
Sure.
Huh. So this time around, that kind of I bumped on that a little bit too. I was like, yeah, because if I'm the clone, that's astoundingly unfair that now I have to work all the time. Whereas it seemed like the doctor and his clone at least had some kind of arrangement where, well, one day you work and then the next day I work and then one day you work and the next day I work. And whereas in this, it was, hey, you're the work clone now.
Right. Although that seemed to make him happy because he didn't want to be home, right? Like he was like heading into work early. That was just kind of his role. And I don't know if I honestly don't remember if they said it or if that was kind of what you were saying would have been nice. But okay, this clone, I want you to bring out the workaholic characteristics, right?
That's where I think that might have helped a little bit more with some of those things. Help explain why that clone is that way, because I'm watching it this time thinking, well, if that's me, I should have the same memories and the same desires and the same everything that I had when I went into this whole situation. So now I never get to spend time with my wife and kids ever again. Like that's awful. So yeah. I guess what I'm saying is I needed that extra little bit of understanding why the clones were either naturally or unnaturally tweaked the ways they were.
2 whole minutes, John. I don't know.
You know.
And that I think was Ebert. If I could get inside his head, I think that was in his review. They said, okay, well, they did the easy comedy stuff where, okay, they all go out to dinner and they show up there, or, you know, the night where he's out and they all end up, you know, with entanglements with his wife and breaking rule number 1. And that's the stuff they went for. But it would have been nice to see that explored on a deeper level, kind of the same things that you're saying.
Right. So, all right. Anything else we want to say about Multiplicity before we jump into 3 questions, of which they are not clones of each other? But there might be a 4th question that is a clone of question 3.
Does he like pizza?
Yes. I will tell you, there was a, I think I've mentioned this one before, but I don't remember. There was a time where they were having, at one of our schools, they were having a little bit of like a cookout. They were doing like a cookout thing outside one of the schools, and I was there with some of the other tech people. And I was trying to do a bit, on, you know, clone number 4.
Uh-oh. Bad bit moment?
A bad bit moment, yeah. And I think I've mentioned this one before. So I pulled out my wallet, and the closest thing I had was not a slice of pizza. It was tortilla chips. And so I was pretending to be clone 4, and I stuck some tortilla chips in my wallet, and I folded it up, and I stuck it in my pocket. And I think I said, I like chips. I like chips a lot. And then I walked away. For the next 3 weeks, I'm pulling pieces of tortilla chip out of my wallet. And every single time I'm like, that was a stupid idea.
Well, maybe, but you know what? A for effort. You gave your all for the joke.
I mean, I committed to it. Yeah. Because you are a character does not mean you have character. All right. It's time for 3 unidentical questions.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, question number 1. If you cloned yourself to free up time, what activity are you having the clone take over?
Housework.
Housework part? Yeah.
Laundry and dishes.
Yeah.
Scrubbing the floor. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I could agree with that. That's the kind of stuff in the future, if you have a robot, to be able to do
That's
things, then
exactly it. That's what the robots are going to be
that's what the
doing.
robots are for. That kind of stuff.
At least before they rise up and
Well, it's right. Rise up and kick us in the groin.
exactly.
Pat, what are you cloning? What are you cloning Patrick 2 for?
I'll tell you, I would like my job to consist of exactly this: directing the band, coaching the cross-country team. Just that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else that comes attached to my job,
Yes.
we're talking strict interpretation
Yes.
of that, by the way.
Yes.
Not loose interpretation of directing the band and coaching. I would love Patrick 2 to take care of.
Okay. All right. I think that works. How do we name the clones? Are we pulling a Heir to the Empire naming convention where it's Pat?
I like that.
Where we double the vowels, which if it's either John or Pat. In your case, Bo, it's just Boo.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fine.
Or would it be Babo?
Or well, it could be that. Or we go with your legal name. It would be Rubert.
There you go.
I think I'm in the same thing. It's either some of the housework stuff, or it's like all the stuff about my job that I don't want to do. If I could just teach and work with the students and maybe have a clone that clone is the one that deals with the behavior issues as part of my job, and maybe fills out some paperwork and does those kind of things.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll do that. Yeah, I want the clone to. I want to be able to tweak the clone though, so that the clone of me is more like the larger, like nightclub bouncer version of me. That that the children would be intimidated to do anything against.
I hear you on the discipline thing, but again, sort of like I think what you were just saying is, I'd want to be very careful with that because there's a lot of varying opinions on discipline out there right now, and I would be worried that the clone.
Pat's worried the clone's going to get him fired. That's what he's trying to say.
No. On the contrary.
No, the clone is just going to stand there with his arms crossed, staring at the children.
Would that, you know what? There would be that element as well. That would work.
That might be all I would need him for.
But I'd have more energy to deal with the discipline if I didn't have to do the things that.
Well, that's also true.
Like I said, I'm not going to list. I'm not going to be specific.
Right.
I'm just going to say anything that does not involve directing the band.
Yeah.
Coaching the cross-country team.
Yeah.
Clone can take it.
All right. Question number 2, the Lance question. What is your favorite story featuring clones, copies, or doppelgangers? Which I believe is the correct German pronunciation of that.
That was impressive.
English, mother. Do you speak it?
Now is the time on doppelgangers when we dance with ourselves.
I actually say that when things are getting a little bit, you're speaking of discipline, talking to some kids. I'm like, hey, man. Hey, yeah, you in the back. Yeah. Now's the time on Sprockets where we pay attention to the teacher. And the looks are there like, and some kids like just don't even know what the heck and they've said like, honestly, Mr. C, we don't even get like the most of your references. We have no idea what they are, but they go with them because they just, I have no idea what you're talking
half
about.
The time, that's probably what breaks them out of their behavior. They're like, "What?
Wait, what? What is...
I just hope some kid goes home and say, "Yeah, Mr. C's talking some
Sprocket."
Yeah, what do you mean? Well, he just said now's the time on Sprockets where we do the scales. You know, and some parent somewhere hopefully is just cracking up. I don't know.
And this is my clone that I have spliced with a monkey. Would you like to see him?
Would you like to see my monkey?
Speaking of getting fired, what was the question again?
Sprockets.
Jack Black, I believe that I have been touched by your kids, and some of them have touched me too. Favorite story featuring clones, copies, or doppelgangers?
Yeah, you know what? I struggled for a second. Yeah. But in the mind of an android, that's an eternity.
Yes.
And then I came up with Clone Wars, the cartoon. And then its spin-off batch.
Yeah.
I love everything that brought to Star Wars. I just so very much enjoyed it. I thought it was what it brought to the story, the impact that it brought to the original episode 1, 2, 3, what it brought to Star Wars lore and canon, the way they were able to tell stories about going to war and soldiers and all that with these clones, the characters that they introduced, how Order 66 was a struggle for some clones. It wasn't just throw a switch and go, it broke that down and gave that emotional and impact. I just thought that the Clone Wars series was so good at that. And that's actually, it's a thorn in my side in one way, because so much of me wants to say, hey, Star Wars, guess what? Like, here's the movie you should be making. 7, 8, 9, you should be making the Timothy Zahn books. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just make those into movies. This is the one thing that gives me pause, because I'm like, yeah, but all the characters that came out of the Clone Wars and that whole, just so good.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with this one. I couldn't really come up with one. I had Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stretch to call it doppelganger or clone. I did think for a second about Black Swan.
Oh, yeah.
But that's more psychological than physical clone, so
Sure.
It's not really not in the spirit of the question. How about that?
Yeah. Nobody's going Star Trek Nemesis?
No.
Yeah.
All right, then. I see how you answered that so quickly. And correctly.
It's just, it's a Star Trek movie, and I am with Pat 100%. More Star Trek, more better.
It's like that reflex when they hit you on the knee with the hammer. You have to kick, like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have told you guys this recently. I have been slowly trying to build up my Star Trek movie 4K collection. And let's just say that Nemesis will be the next to last 4K I buy. I'm to the point where for Christmas I got Star Trek 5.
Nice.
And so now the next one on my list to purchase would probably be Generations.
Okay.
And then probably Nemesis, and then maybe if it's on clearance somewhere, Insurrection. Which makes me so sad because I love F. Murray Abraham as an actor.
Yeah.
And it just
didn't go well.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of already broke my rule because I think I already have a copy of Star Trek Into Darkness, but we went slightly out of order. But yeah. So, I mean, plenty of Star Trek to watch, but I'm doing them in order in which they deserve to be purchased.
Exactly.
Perfect order.
Yeah. It's Star Wars has the machete order. John has the more crappy order.
Right.
Yeah. I have, since you mentioned the clones in Star Wars, I am going to go with, I actually have a couple of movies in mind that I enjoy how cloning was handled. And I'm going to do a runner-up as the TV show Orphan Black, if you guys saw that one at all.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoyed Orphan Black. That involves cloning. You know what? And I've been going back and forth on which one I'm going to put as my number one choice. I think my runner-up movie is going to be, and let's see, does this this will spoil things. Okay, if you don't want to be spoiled on the movie The Prestige,
okay, all right,
skip ahead for a moment. The Prestige, and I don't know, anytime you've got David Bowie cloning people, or hats, or cats, or whatever. But the one I'm going to pick is one that I actually saw last year, or earlier this year. No.
Okay.
Well, when will then be now? Last year, we're recording it in 2025, but it's coming out in 2026. So last year, I saw a movie called Mickey 17. Did either of you guys see this one?
No, but I remember seeing the trailer for it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Directed by the same guy that did, why am I blanking on the name? Parasite.
Okay.
The one that won the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
in 2019. He also, I think he did the movie version of Snowpiercer.
Yes, that sounds right.
He did. Yeah. So Bong Joon-ho was the Korean director who did this one. Mickey 17, basically the story, it's kind of a sci-fi black comedy and based on a novel, and it's Robert Pattinson. And basically what it is, it's set in the future, and it's a guy who joins a space colony as what's called an expendable, and that is you are disposable workers who every time you die, you get cloned. And so the story moves along as where like he dies. He's put in these like really horrible situations and his clone dies. So he gets cloned again, and they put in other like horrible situations and he dies again. And then there ends up being this kind of what spurs the movie on is there ends up being this accident, and they think he dies and they go ahead and clone him again, but he didn't actually die. And so now there's two of him running around, and that's not how things are supposed to work. And from there, things kind of like go crazy.
Interesting.
But it's really good. I from what I recall, it got really good reviews. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it did fairly well. No, actually, I don't think it actually did well in box office. But I feel like it got good reviews. Yeah. I think that's what it was. Like it got good reviews, but it did not do well in terms of like making actual money.
Huh.
But a very, very fun movie. I mean, it's out that you can probably find it at the library, or it's probably on some streaming service at this point that you already pay for. So, but a lot of fun. So Mickey 17, I'm going to go with that one.
All right.
You mentioned a TV show. Something popped into my head. Again, not true cloning.
Mm-hmm.
So not in the true spirit of the question, but the Dollhouse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's been a while.
An interesting take on that sort of thing, I guess, is how I would put that one.
I feel like we might have watched Dollhouse around the same time that we watched Orphan Black. So I feel like sometimes
they were contemporary-ish. Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like that sometimes I get a little confused in my head as to which one was which.
Dollhouse had the girl
was
from True Lies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Was she also in 24?
She might have been on one season of it. Yeah, I can't remember.
All right. Now is the time on Sprockets when we take an hour to answer the next question.
Okay, here we go.
Release the Kraken.
Here we go. Here we go.
Question number 3.
I think this should become one of our Patreon episodes. Maybe when we get to 700 episodes or something.
It might have to be. Question number 3. What is your favorite pizza?
John.
I'm sorry.
What were you thinking?
I don't know.
What'd you do, John? What'd you do, Ray?
I looked in the trap.
Silo.
And by trap, I mean the oven.
John, you're not supposed to put your head in the oven. Silo taco pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Giordano's chicken sausage deluxe.
I will double up your silo and say silo seafood pizza.
Ooh.
Really, really enjoy the seafood pizza. I have another one that I've really enjoyed a lot lately, and I don't know that it really matters where it comes from because I've had one. There's a Ferrantino's pizza that's in my town. They have a version of it. I've had a version of it a couple of other places. There's even, in a pinch, at the grocery store, there's a frozen pizza that even does this. And I have been really, really enjoying the Italian beef pizzas.
Yes.
Like it's got the Italian beef, it's got the giardiniera kind of mixed into the pizza.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Yes, it's lovely.
Hits calls there's the beast, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. There was something similar when
have some.
Yes, have more than some. There was a place that we visited one time. We were visiting my family in Springfield, Missouri, and they had a pizza they called Beast Mode.
Oh, very nice.
And I feel like they took everything in the restaurant and put it on this pizza.
Okay, garbage pizza.
Yeah.
That would equate to beast mode. I'll give them that.
And it was lovely. You could only eat one slice of it, but it was lovely. But I'm gonna say the Italian beef pizza lately has been a favorite, but like all time, the Silo pizza, seafood pizza is like all time favorite. Love that one.
The other thing I've found is anything from
You could stop at the word anything, and that would be correct.
anything from Pequods.
I've never had Pequods.
Oh, gentlemen,
yummy,
I am
yummy,
feeling
yummy.
a field trip.
Well, I did see, I don't know what's involved in this, but I did see something got posted on some of the socials that Pequods is having like suburban drop-offs or something. Like if you
we've
order
done
stuff from them.
a couple of those. It's okay. Basically, they par bake a pizza.
Oh, okay.
And you pick it up, and then you finish cooking it yourself.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. It just doesn't travel as well.
No, you're better off going to the place.
I would say Pequods, even if you pick it up and then bring it home, it's not as good.
Okay.
As if you have it there. It's definitely a pizza that wants you to eat it there.
Okay.
If you end up taking it home, it's almost better to just put it right in the fridge and have it as cold pizza the next day, right? Like, there's a middle window where it's not as good.
Okay.
But I'm telling you that now I'm hungry.
I knew this would happen.
Pat, we've given you some time to
all right,
contemplate.
Let me get the list.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yes.
There you go.
That's my answer to that question. So
more pizza, more better.
More pizza, more better. So God bless it. I love pizza. I love it all. I just love all the different kinds of pizza. And the one, if I could use this to answer the question, the one that like after I have pizza, it's like nothing else will taste good.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get like some sort of a palate cleanser or just something. But the one, whenever we get Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza, I can find nothing that will taste like make my taste buds happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have to like go and fast for 24 hours and just let it totally clear. Because I'll have like there'll be like one slice left. I'll eat that slice. I'm still hungry. Nothing else tastes good. It's like all food turns to ash in my mouth. It's like the curse of the black pearl. And so I don't know if that's the indicator right there, but boy, that Lou Malnati's deep dish, and for that matter, any deep dish pizza, right? Like Giordano's, Pequod's pizza, any of it. And yeah, it's good stuff. But I mean, I'm an equal opportunity. I love a high-end, high expensive pizza. I love the stop in, pick up a pie for $5 pizza. Like it doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, this didn't end up on our list here, but we recently went and had a little dinner together at a place in Schaumburg, and we had one of the flatbreads, and this was Bo and I partook of this. It was not spicy as advertised, but it was still excellent, and that's something normally I think I mentioned this at the time. I'm not a fan of putting pickles on things. Like I'm a fan of a pickle on the side, kind of a deal. And so I was like, okay, we'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. It was excellent. We had the Nashville spicy chicken and dill.
Oh yeah.
And advertised as a flatbread, but obviously it's a pizza. This was I'll read you what was on this. Crispy chicken tossed in Nashville hot sauce, pickle chips, creamy ranch dressing, mozzarella, and provolone cheeses, and a drizzle of hot honey topped with fresh parsley on a crispy lavash. It was excellent.
Ferme lavash?
Yeah, ferme lavash. Fetche lavash. Yeah.
Fetche lavash.
Not ferme. Ferme is close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fetche lavash. Quoi? Fetche lavash. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was
I'm
lovely.
already making plans to partake of it again.
It was lovely. And now that I've talked about Italian beef and you have mentioned Pequods, I did look up on a map real quick. I'm like, just for the pure joy of wondering, how far away is, because we were talking about this the other day at our house, Johnny's Beef in Elmwood Park. Yeah. Have you been, Bo?
Yes, it has been a while.
Yeah, that's my favorite Italian beef ever.
If you're making your way down to Elmwood Park, and we're talking about food,
What do you got for us, Bo? What do you got
you
us?
got to look up a place called the Alpine Sandwich Shop. Gentlemen. The Alpine Sandwich, which is their take on an Italian sub.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. It is something special.
Well, I have Google Maps open right here. Is it like right down from Johnny's Beef?
I believe it may very well be, yes.
It's like right next door.
Yeah.
Oh, what have you done, Bo?
It's amazing. And they sell them in 3 different sizes, right? You get a little, big, or gigantic. And the gigantic one, they cut into 4 sections.
Uh-huh.
And so they're just perfect to eat. And before you know it, the whole thing is gone. And it's so good.
Utah, give me 2.
I've been craving it for like 2 weeks because my sister-in-law keeps coming up and not bringing any.
Oh, yeah. Alpine Food Shop.
That's right. Yes.
Imported and domestic Italian delicacies.
Yes.
Huh.
Have some.
Huh.
So in addition to the sandwiches, they've also got a little, they got sauce that they make, and they got sausage and pastas, and oh, Lord.
Okay. So I'm gonna suggest a 30 podcast. What do we call this? Food crawl.
There you go.
Yeah. Is that there's the Alpine Food Shop, and then maybe 50 paces down from the Alpine Food Shop is Johnny's Beef.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheese fries at Johnny's Beef, also excellent. And then I believe, it says by car, it's like 8 or 9 miles. But if you head on down the road just a little bit, you end up at Pequod's Pizza.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that's
a day's worth of food right there.
It is. It's probably a couple of days worth of food when you really think about it.
Well, yeah, the Pequods, that's true.
Yeah. But I think that's the kind of thing that you start. You start there on North Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
You start on North Avenue. You start at the one end, and you just work your way down, and you end up in. Let's see, is Pequod's in Lincoln Park or Bucktown? Where's that located?
It's funny. I've never been to the one in the city. I've only been to the one in Morton Grove. So I don't know what.
I think it's technically Lincoln Park.
I don't know what neighborhood they're in down here.
Okay. All right. Okay. But I feel like, that's if you were going to walk it. I don't know what distance that is walking wise.
Right.
But if you're going to walk it, then I feel like you just you grab a boombox, you put on the Lord of the Rings music, and you just walk.
One does not walk into Mordor.
One does not simply walk into Lincoln Park.
Right.
I feel like that's what we do. It says 27 minutes by car. I feel like then that helps you walk off some of what you've eaten.
Yeah, but depending on what you ate, you might not be able to walk.
Well, that's also true. It is a 3-hour walk.
Oh, that's longer than I thought.
That's a little bit longer, yeah. So from the.
But at that point, you might as well head north and pick off the one in Morton Grove on the way home.
Well, that's true. All right. Well, so we have options, and anybody listening to this that's going to visit Chicago anytime soon, we've given you some options.
Some
highly fantastic options. So I feel it because I'm looking at this. I'm going, you know what? The Alpine Food Shop and the Johnny's Beef really and truly doesn't feel like, at least when you look on the map, and especially if you zoom out a little bit, it's not that far. It's not that far south of O'Hare.
No, really not that far from each other.
So the next time I got to take somebody to O'Hare, I feel like that's just a slight detour.
Yes.
Down to North Avenue. Okay.
You're just doing someone a solid, taking them to the airport.
I love it when a plan comes together.
As do I.
Look, paraphrase that. I love it when a meal comes together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think guys, I think this is an accomplishment. We talked about our favorite pizzas, and it lasted less than half an hour.
I know, we did good.
So we should all be very proud of ourselves, and we should reward ourselves in some way, possibly with food.
I think so.
I think we've done the Lord's work here, and now the Lord wants us to eat.
Because he loves us and wants us to be happy.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Multiplicity. You can tune in probably within the next day or so, and we'll listen to the episode that our clones have recorded. And then I believe a day after that, we will have our third clones. We'll also record an episode for you. And who knows what's going to happen when our fourth clones try to record an episode, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to actually get recorded. But
yeah. We'll put it
too
this
much
way.
Pizza.
Well, there's that too. Our fourth clones will record at the pizza restaurant while mariachi music is playing, and you'll never get to hear it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll file it under the lost recordings.
That's how that works. All right. We got a lot of good stuff coming up this month. This is January. This is Double Lives month. We had Mission Impossible last week. We had Multiplicity this time. The Phantom is coming up next week. The Cable Guy is finishing off the month of January for us. Really, really looking forward to a good old. What we should do with the Cable Guy is like what we did when we did Breakfast Club, and we gave ourselves Saturday detention, went to school, and had breakfast in the library. We should go to medieval times when we record the Cable Guy. We should go to medieval times. We should fight each other in the arena.
Ooh, okay. Now,
And then
I'm intrigued by this.
I think I have a couple of lavalier mics that we can hook onto each other, and then we can fight each other.
I think Dennis and Pat will whip us all.
No. The last time I fought Dennis, I think he ended up having to go to the doctor because I injured his leg. So I think in terms of records, I think I'm 1-0 against Dennis.
I don't know what to say to that.
I know what I say to that is it is years later. I am not the physical specimen I was. He's taller, I'm shorter, and I know. Let's have a spelling contest. Let's do that instead. But yes, we got that coming up. And then over on the Patreons, we've got Freeway from 1996 is our Patreon exclusive episode this month. And our Patreon short is Nash Bridges, TV show that started in 1996. Don Johnson, Cheech Marin. It's a lot of fun. All right, now I just need to go find some pizza. Or Italian beef. It really doesn't matter.
Indeed.
Neither of which is in my fridge right now. But I will scour for something. Or send my clone out to go get it.
See, there you go.
That's
what we need the clones for, to go get stuff.
Right. Forget DoorDash. We need Doug Dash.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Oh, thank you, Bo, and thank you, Pat, for being here, as always.
Thank you, John.
Everybody, be excellent to each other. Go watch some good movies, and we will see you back here next time. In fact, watch movies multiple times if you want to. We'll see you back here next time.